Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in, man. Today's November 21st, 2022. And this is the NBA ChrisBeCappinn show, man. ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's go ahead and get into the card today, man. We got a lot of games to talk about. It's a lot going on. Let's talk about it. See if we can come together as a community, make some bets, win some money. That's what we're here for, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Real quick recap of yesterday. I only made one video yesterday. A quick video, didn't do a show over the weekend. And I took Mr. Porzingis yesterday, who looked like cheeks yesterday. Porzingis did not show up at all. He stood around at the 3-point line, shot a couple 3-point balls. I think it was the right read, but it was a Kuzma game. So 0-1 yesterday on official plays that I gave out. Didn't really have time to cap a lot, but did end up finding some time to kind of watch some of the games. So back at it today, though, looking to bounce back and start the week off better than we started the week off last week. Y'all know I'm always transparent, and started the week off with some great spots last week. Just some bad losses, some real bad losses. Think we started the week off like 3-8. So um, bounce back towards the end of the week. We had 3 profitable days to end the week: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And like I said, just 0-1 yesterday. So looking to build on the end of last week and trying to get rid of the beginning of last week. So here we go, man. Let's jump into it. What up, Wham? Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, hit that like button, man. Y'all retweet the show. Hit the like button for me. What up, Tiffany? What up, Stony? JT, I see y'all in the chat. Free Minds, what up? What up? Fremont said back like a crack addict. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, man. So first game up. Let's go to this Hawks and Cavs game. So real interesting game, I think. You get the Hawks coming in to Cleveland. So we just got updated news. JB Bickerstaff said that Kevin Love looked like he's on track to play in that game. Karis LeVert is listed. Well, he's actually listed as out. Tweaked his ankle and is not going to play in this one. So Cavs, they come in 5-1 straight up at the crib, 4-1-1 against the spread at home, 2 wins in a row. They got Charlotte out the way the other day, even though that game did go to overtime on Friday. Just a lack of, I think, defensive intensity and awareness in the second half is what took that game there. But then last night, you see the game, I think it was 25-26. I can't remember which team was winning at the end of the first quarter. You see yesterday, though, they put their foot on the necks of Miami. Shorthanded Miami team, of course, but they put their foots on the neck of Miami in that one early, too. Like, it was the beginning of the second quarter. I think I saw like 28-3 or something, 28-5, like second quarter. So the defensive intensity stepped up a whole lot for these guys yesterday. And I think it continues, man. I know this is the third. I think it's the third or fourth straight home game. I got it written out somewhere. For this Cavs team, and I'm on the Cavs, man. I made the video about it. It's actually my best bet of the day. I like the Cavs in this spot. The spread opened at 2.5. It came down to 2. Love that we can get it at 2. Important to note also that even though the Cavs are playing on the second night of a back-to-back, their starters didn't play more than 30 minutes yesterday. Evan Mobley was the only starter who hit 30 minutes. And Evan Mobley, like 23 years old, bro. If he can't play in back-to-back games, I don't know what's going on. But like I said, everybody else should be well rested. Also, something I didn't mention on the morning show, the Hawks knocked the Cavs out last year, and they beat them 4 times in a row. So I think they got this one circled. I don't know if you guys are into watching like post-game interviews, but I watched Darius Garland one yesterday, and the reporter was asking them, y'all got a big one tomorrow. Y'all got this one circled. Anything special? And he was like, nah, just another game. But you could kind of tell. They say when you lie, you look to the left, man. My man Garland was looking to the left last night, man. I think they got this one circled, man. I think they definitely got this one circled. And I also think that's probably why they got Atlanta out the way. They got Miami out the way in the first half so that they would be, no excuses for this game, kind of like Golden State. If Golden State had got Houston out the way early yesterday, they could have probably actually played against the Pelicans, but defense didn't show up yesterday, so they had to play that full game last night. So I actually do think that Cleveland has this game circled, man. Like I said, Atlanta has won 4 and covered 4 the last spots. Against this team. Last game they laid 2.5, and that's why I said this one kind of felt like a Cleveland spot. It feels like a Cleveland spot because they only laying 2.5. Also, over the last 5 games, Cleveland's defense that started off a little slow when they went on that road trip. They picked it up a lot, man. They were bottom 5 in defensive rating when they were out west on their road trip playing against the Kings, the Clippers, the Lakers. They're back in the top 11 defensive rating. So recently they just got Jared Allen back off the injury as well. So that's going to only help this team a lot, right? The other thing I think that's interesting, because I really don't like playing teams coming off the rest disadvantage, but teams that have played their two previous games at the crib and they're home favorite in the third game this season, they're 37-15 straight up, winning those games by average margin of 5 points, right? So that bodes well for backing the Cavs today. Also, Cavs are 9-2 straight up and against the spread against the East this season. They're winning those games by average of 10 points. We see them actually clean up the East, man. I think I think they keep it going today. Another trend that kind of maybe you're on the rest disadvantage. You're like, I'm not 100% sure. Away underdogs, which the Atlanta Hawks are, that are more rested this season, they're only 5-19 straight up, 10-13-1 against the spread, losing by average margin of 6 points. So give me the Cavs in this one. I made a video about them earlier. I also like, fading the Hawks after a win. They're 6-3 on the season, but they've lost 3 straight games ATS wise. They failed to cover 3 straight games after a win. So they've been kind of teetering back and forth all season long, win one, lose one. They also 8-25 ATS in their last 33 road games versus a team with the home winning record. 1-5 ATS in the last 6 meetings in Cleveland as well. So yeah, I like the Cavs in this one, man. I think I done talked y'all into it if y'all want to get on that side, but I'm on the Cavs today. I also listening to other smart minds in the space. I think first half is in play as well. We know the Hawks typically come out a little slow. The Cavs, I think they probably, like I said, I think they probably want to set the tone early in this one. I just see their defense being able to stifle, Atlanta's offense. And I also think that they're going to put Trae Young in a lot of pick and roll basketball today. And he's going to have his hands full trying to guard, either Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell. So he barbecue chicken on the defensive side. He definitely going to try to get his on the offensive side, but I think they roll Trae up tonight. Trae gonna get he getting rolled up tonight. I also just don't like the way the Hawks been looking, man. I watched them play the other day against Toronto, and a game that Toronto probably could have won. And Toronto came in shorthanded, and barely they took that game, ended up going to overtime. But if OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, if Scotty Barnes doesn't miss that layup off the sweet feed by Fred VanVleet, that game doesn't even go to overtime, and Atlanta loses at the crib against the shorthanded team. So give me the Hawks, man. I feel like I done made my point enough in that one. That's what I'm on that game. I'm gonna keep going, push through, and then I'll get to you guys if anybody else got looks. I don't have anything on every game, so actually that's my strongest look. That's why I made the video, man. I make them videos, them plays that I got a unit or two on them plays that I'm making videos on. So Atlanta -2. If you want to play it safe, take the money line. I don't think it's too juice, probably like a -125, -130 range. But I like Atlanta today. I like Atlanta a lot. I'm sorry, Cavs. I like the Cavs a lot. I'm sorry. Magic and the Pacers. These two teams just played each other on Saturday. Indiana won the first game. They won that game by 1. Magic did cover the 6.5. The Magic have looked good, man. Back-to-back covers. They beat the Bulls outright in their first road game, and then they come back and they cover in a game they could have potentially won against the Pacers. That was a bad travel spot for the Pacers, though. I will say that the Pacers were playing on the second night of a back-to-back. I think it was a 3rd and 4 with injured Tyrese Halliburton, and they were able to pull that one out. We hit on that game. We took the Magic plus the 3.5 in the first half. Some people might have got it at 4 when Halliburton got ruled. Then I actually played both, and we cashed that. And I think I just don't like playing these games. These back-to-back games, I'm not comfortable playing them, especially when it's in the same gym. To me, it's just too much of a weird dynamic. We saw, even the Dallas Mavericks lose to the short-handed. No Jokic, no Jamal Murray. They lost to the Nuggets. So typically you get some revenge. Whoever doesn't win that first one typically wins the second one. Typically, if the first one goes over, the second one goes under. I can see the Magic continuing to cover. I think Wendell Carter Jr. got ruled. I don't think he's going to play. I think I saw the update on that, which we hit on Bol too. We went 2 for 2 in that game. So Bol, we were on his points and plus rebounds at 25.5. Couldn't talk anybody off that look again. He's still going to have the same kind of matchup today. So I'll be looking at bowl props again. On the opposite side, we know that the Magic don't defend guards well, and we hit on we smacked this game. I forgot that was 3 for 3 because I also talked about Halliburton. We took his points plus his threes. We hit on his threes though over 3.5. He hit 5, started slow, but we didn't hit on his points. He was at 17.5, and we only got 15. So 4-1 overall in that game. I'm probably off of it today. I will say the Magic are 7-1 ATS in their last 7-8 meetings in Indiana though. So couldn't talk anybody off taking the points and the Pacers winning the game, but it being a close one in that one. Celtics and the Bulls, a game that I'm kind of on the fence about. So the Celtics are laying Wendell Carter is out. Appreciate that, Trip. Celtics and the Bulls. So this one opened at 6. It's kind of stayed around 6. The Celtics are red hot right now. I will tell you this. I don't care who they playing against. Team USA could be coming in there. I'm not betting against the Celtics right now. They're 13-3 straight up. They're coming off 9 wins in a row. They've covered 5 of the last 6 spreads. The defense is getting better. 3rd straight road game before returning back home to host Dallas on Wednesday. The Bulls on the opposite hand, it feels like a trap game because the Bulls have been playing so bad. The Bulls have lost 4 of their last 5. Lost 4 in a row, lost 5 of their last 6. They also failed to cover 4 of their last 5 spreads. Failed to cover 4 games straight and 5 of their last 6. Marcus Smart is back in this one, I think. Boston beat Chicago earlier this month, and they also lost to Chicago too. So these teams are 1-1 so far this year. For some reason, Chicago matches up well with Boston for whatever reason. And you're asking the Celtics to cover a number like 6, which they have been. I will tell you this: Boston is a plus 13 over their last 5 games, which ranks second only behind Sacramento. So you could say that point wise they're actually covering these numbers, beating these teams, and scoring a bunch of points. That's what they're doing there on offense, on the offensive end. Defensively, they are allowing the 8th fewest points, and their opponents are only shooting 45% from the field, which both rank 8th on the season. So I'd be, to me, this one just kind of felt like a trap. I will tell you guys, I talked about it on the morning show, the Celtics team total over 116.5. I didn't play it yet. The first half over 60.5. Boston has continued to just kind of crush this number. They scoring 63 points, 65 points, 68 points, 70 points in the first half, just consistently. Like I said, this game kind of feels like a trap game. I will tell you guys a prop that I'm looking at, and I haven't placed it yet, but I'm probably going to lock this one in, and that's Zach LaVine. And it's all narrative based on this one. I think I took Zach LaVine earlier in the year in the same exact spot, thinking that, against the Celtics, it's going to be a faster paced game. You're going to have to get some points up. You're going to have to get some shots up. And the reason why I'm taking him in this one, looking back and kind of trying to find the edge in this one, I saw that wasn't really paying attention to watching that game the other day when the Bulls lost outright to the Orlando Magic when Jalen Suggs hit the step back 3-pointer to win the game. But with about 4 minutes left in that game, Coach Billy Donovan actually pulled Zach LaVine and set him on the pine, told him, come have a seat beside me. He was having such a bad game. And, it sounds like they had a man-to-man conversation about it. And, Zach LaVine wasn't happy. He was, extremely frustrated and, thought that his services could have been used in the last few minutes. But he was just shooting the ball so bad it wasn't bringing anything on the defensive end that Billy Donovan was like, yo, you can get out. We can put Ayo Dosunmu in and, we'll rock like that. So I do look for Zach LaVine to have a big, big game today. I think getting this point line at 20.5 is a tad bit low. But we've seen him be passive. It just doesn't feel like a night where Zach LaVine's going to be passive. And if the Celtics are going to keep this spread within 6, I do think that it's going to be because he has a big night. What's his name? DeMar DeRozan, I think, had 35, 36. So he kind of carried the team, and it's really difficult for me to kind of, pick the player prop that I, when I'm trying to pick between them two, it's typically pretty difficult. But it does feel like a Zach LaVine bounce back night is what I tell you guys. I'm probably going to lock in that 20.5 for his points. When Zach LaVine goes off, he can go for 25, 30. And against this Celtics team that's hitting pretty much 80%, 75%, it feels like 200% of the 3-pointers that they're taking. You would expect, for somebody on this Chicago team to be able to kind of keep pace with them So I like that. I like the Celtics team total over. I think 116.5 is too low. I think 60.5 for the first half is too low. And I also like Mr. Zach LaVine to go over his 20.5 points in that one. Blazers and the Bucks. Nothing for me really on this one. I will say that this is interesting from the perspective of how these teams rank in their in their current perspective. The Blazers, people probably down on the Blazers right now because they are coming off back-to-back losses. They went home and just looked terrible. They coming in off 1 day's rest. Like I talked about, 2 losses, failed to cover their last 3 spreads as a favorite. But Portland is 6-2 straight up, 7-1 ATS on the road this season. That's where they've kind of made their money at on the road, specifically as dogs. The Bucks come into this one off the loss versus Philly on Friday, where Giannis missed all them free throws and they could have won the game. Then wanted to practice his free throws, ended up pushing ladders and nonsense. The Bucks are 8-1 against the spread. I'm sorry, 8-1 straight up, 7-2 ATS at the crib at home this year. But it just feels to me like they're laying a tad bit too many points, especially if you can get like a +10. I think the Blazers play them really, really tough in this one. And, with Dame being out, everybody know Dame's out. I think I would probably look towards a guy like Josh Hart. I was looking at his rebounds plus assist line, and I can't remember exactly what the number is. It's nothing that I locked in, but that's probably the prop that I'm looking at the most. I think Jeremy Grant will have his hands full, probably trying to slow down Giannis. Nurkic gonna have his hand full trying to stay out on the 3-point line to run Brook Lopez off the 3-point line. So that's where I'd be looking at in that one. But I don't want to take too much time. Like I said, I kind of want to get to everybody else. Heat and the Timberwolves, another really uninspiring spot. The Heat are not in the spot that I'm ever wanting to. DeAndre Hunter just got ruled out with that illness. Yeah, that's all we got. So the Heat, not in the spot where I'm looking to back any team. They come in off the 2 straight road losses to the Wizards and then the Cavs yesterday. This will be their 3rd game in 4 nights and their 3rd game of a 3-game road trip as well. Not a spot where I'm looking to back a lot of players or teams in. I saw Bam come up on the injury report as questionable. I don't know. Maybe as we get closer, we can talk something out, but probably nothing on that side. The Timberwolves are in a kind of a funky spot as well, just as far as like coming back. I typically don't play teams coming back off the road for such a long period of time. They haven't played a home game since November the 9th. So it was only a 4-game road trip, but the schedule makers did them a really good favor by kind of scheduling a whole bunch of breaks in there between. They had 2 days off, 3 days off, 2 days off, 1 day off. So they didn't have to play a bunch of games on the road back to back to back. They've won 5 in a row and went over in all 3 of their previous games. So this team has picked it up just a tad bit, especially on the road. They beat Philly, they beat Orlando. They've been able to kind of pick it up just a tad bit. A lot of that has to do with Anthony Edwards. This dude is finally starting to find a rhythm. He's been a lot more aggressive if you guys have been watching him play, because I have been kind of tuning into their games. He's shooting the ball, shooting it early in the shot clock, and kind of getting in a good rhythm to start the game. So I expect the Timberwolves to win this game, but when you're laying that many points, it's not a spot that I'm really looking to take at all. This Heat team is just undermanned too. One thing I will say about any Heat team, though, they always gonna fight. Last night wasn't a fair fight because Cleveland is. I've been saying this, but Cleveland is one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, especially when they lock in on the defensive end. I don't think the Timberwolves defense is that good, but offensively, I think they might be a tad bit better than Cleveland, at least right now when they can get going. So, and honestly, I don't know if I agree with that either. I think they, act like I ain't say that. I don't feel like clarifying it. But the Heat, they're just in a bad spot, man. I'm not looking to back them in this spot. Moving on to the Warriors and the Pelicans. We know Steve Kerr doesn't like to play his starters on back-to-back nights, and he said all of them. Steph, Clay, Draymond are all out in this one. I think Looney came up as questionable. On the opposite side, Trey Murphy is questionable, and Zion is probable. Spread opened at 3.5, and then it went up to 4.5, went up to 5, and then of course it got pushed all the way to 10. Without the with the Warriors setting their guys, the total I'm pretty sure dropped as well. I know it opened at 228.5, and I had some interest in the over. I talked about that on the morning show as well. But I'm not touching this game either. I do think that, if you're looking at value, we do have to look at, a guy like Jordan Poole. I know his assists would be something that I would be looking at. Jordan Poole assists in this one, just because he'll garner all of the attention from the defense. He also didn't shoot the ball extremely well, so maybe you look at his points plus assists. Couldn't talk anybody off of him. And then I don't know what to do with the Pelicans team when I never know what to do with the players when you get the opposite side just kind of sitting everybody out, because it could be a blowout, it could not be a blowout. I'm not willing to risk it. I think we got two more games? Yeah, two more games. I'm gonna open it up to you guys. So next game up, this Knicks and the Thunder game. This should be an interesting game. The Knicks are also and I talked about this on the morning show, in a spot where I'm not looking to back any team. This will be their third game in 4 nights, their fifth game in 7 nights, and they're coming off a road back to back, and the loss in Phoenix last night where their defense just looked non-existent, specifically in that third quarter. Phoenix just blew them boys out. Shout out to Campaign. He looked really, really good last night. Looked like a starting point guard, but that's just because the Knicks defense is so bad. They went out, on their West Coast trip and looked good for a couple games and then got blasted yesterday. But also not a spot you're really looking to back the Thunder in. They're coming off, a nice little 3-4 game road trip as well out east. And they do have 2 days off, which is why you would want to back them in this spot. I actually had this one circle. Because that fifth game in 7 nights is one of the worst. I'm sorry, not one of. That's the worst spot for any team in the NBA. So I was looking to back the Knicks, but back the Thunder, but I didn't know that they were going to be laying points. I thought that they'd be catching 2 points, and I wanted to take them as a dog, not necessarily as a favorite. I do think that the Knicks probably come out here with something early in this one. We know that OKC hasn't been playing any defense at all. So I look for, maybe even instead of the full game over, maybe you take the first half over. I know I think the total has gone up in this one. Let me check real quick. The total has come down. So 231.5, even though I had it written down as 230.5. I see it at 231.5. Money coming into the under 230.5. I think the right play, if you want to take over, probably is the first half. The Knicks, caveat to that is the Knicks did get Mitchell Robinson back, who makes a tremendous impact on the defensive end for the Knicks. But yesterday was his first game back, and he was moving kind of slow. Your first game back, you're not going to play too many minutes. It's actually a great time to take players unders. Shout out to Kyrie yesterday. But I didn't take Kyrie unders, but I probably should have. I just don't like the spot. Like I said, I don't like the spot for the Knicks. The Thunder are the only way I could look in this game, but taking the Thunder as a favorite feels really, really weird to me. Really, really weird. Some numbers I got for the over, though, and then I'm gonna move on to the last game, and I'm gonna be quiet. The Thunder, back home and rested, 9-5 to the over this season when the total was set at 230.5 or less. In those games, the total amount of points is 232 on average. And then, this season when teams are coming home after a 4-game road trip, the total is totals are 9-4 to the over when teams are coming home after a 4-game road trip in their first game back, with the average total being about 230 points as well. These totals are 5-1 to the over in the last 6 meetings. The Thunder, they're 5-2 to the over, with 5 straight overs happening at the crib, right? So 5-2 to the over at the crib, 5 straight overs at the crib. The Knicks are 24th defensively over the last 5 games. And OKC, we know they're not playing a lick of defense. They're rated 25th in that same time span. Couldn't talk anybody off of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We know what he did to them the other day. Josh Giddey has a triple-double pretty much every time he plays against these guys. I was looking at his rebounds plus assist line. I think it's like 14.5, so you would need like 8-8 or 8-7, something like that, which I could see him getting in this one. Probably a, extremely fast-paced game. I also think, you got to, even though he had a good game yesterday, I could definitely see going back to Brunson in this one. His points prop, I think they did go up from 19.5 to 20.5, but against an OKC team, like, why not, right? The only caveat to that, like I said, I typically don't like backing players on fifth game and 7 nights, or third game in 4 nights, and third game in 5 nights. So nothing official on for me in that one, but strongest lean will probably be to the first half over, just in case the tied legs theory does kick in for the Knicks. I think that they still come out here with something early. I also wouldn't look to back the Knicks and would probably want to take the Thunder, but like I said, I'm not laying points with the Thunder. Maybe a live betting opportunity. Last game on the board, the Jazz and the Clippers. So the Clippers opened at 3.5 point favorites. It went up to 4. We just got the news. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Paul George got ruled out probably about 10 minutes before the show started. The total went up after that, and I actually liked the under. But the total gonna shoot up when Paul George is ruled out. Jazz, this will be their third game in 4 nights, but I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm still not in the business of fading the Jazz, and that's why you see money kind of come in. The spread is now down to 1.5 in favor of the Clippers. The Jazz will be without Mike Conley in this one. He didn't suffer as bad of an injury as he potentially could have in that game against Portland, but he's going to be out, I think, for at least 2 weeks. And Kawhi has not really found too much of a rhythm. They're of course monitoring his minutes early in the season. So yeah, the Jazz, they're 11-3 ATS and straight up versus the West in general. This team has really looked good. 8 straight covers. Eventually, you're bound for some kind of regression, but I'm not getting in front of the Jazz. That's not something I'm really looking into at all. I got a nice little write up on the under 221, but there's no need to talk about that with PG being rolled out. PG, how frustrating he is at times, which can be really frustrating. He is, a tremendous defensive player, and he does impact the total a lot, which is probably why you see money come in on this under. Kawhi and PG together this year, this team is 4-0 to the under, and the total is right about 200, about 203 points. So I love that you could get that much value on the under 221. The Jazz also can play defense when they need to as well. So I was looking towards the under. No play at all for me on that one. Now I couldn't talk anybody off Clarkson. I do think you got to look at a guy like Colin Sexton, without having Mike Conley there. And this should be a real competitive game. So I'll probably look at this one a little more later, and or maybe I'll tell something that somebody else tell me. I'm not too good to tell. But that's what I got for you guys, man. Strongest look on the board for me is the Cavs minus the 2. Couldn't talk anybody off the first half. I might get there on the first half too. Minus the 1 for the Cavs in the first half, and then I really like Zach LaVine as player prop over the 20.5. I'm probably gonna lock that one in, but a lot of games on the board. What is it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I just don't got a lot of plays, man. Not a lot of plays at all. Some strong leans, but not a lot of things that I played official. So 70 comments over on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, man, hit the like button for me. Share the show if you guys can. I'm not going to be able to read all these comments. I see people on Lori Marketing. Mitch got a strong look on Clarkson. I like that look a lot. Me and Mitch talked about this earlier. Jordan Clarkson over 2.5 turnovers. He's going to be the primary ball handler. And we know the Clippers play defense. So I can see him turning the ball over at least 3 times. I do like that look a lot, Mitch. I might tell you on that, especially for the plus money. Give me that plus 110. So I like that look a lot. I got Wham up. Let me get my guy Finesse connected, and we're gonna talk some hoops, man. See what y'all on. Wham, if you can hear me, my brother, and you can speak, the floor is yours, OG.
Man, listen, bro. I'm just happy to be here with you, bro. Love what you're doing. Love how you pushing the community further. Keep doing your thing, man, off the top. And I'm right here with you, bro. It ain't that many plays on the board I want to play.
Hey, that make me feel good, man. That make me feel good, bro. I ain't by myself.
I'm right there with you, bro. It's not that many. And I'm kind of happy that I'm kind of lining up with you. I am on Evan Mobley over 14.5 points. Hit 6 of the last 8 games. Atlanta's dead last. And the point guards, they allowed 2 forwards. So I think it's a really good look that you're not getting that guy back in the lineup. We did mention that with Hunter. Hunter's not going to be in there with the illness. I like this look a lot over 14.5 points. Again, he's been averaging 16 points over the last 5 games. And 6 over the last 8 games, he's went over this total. So I like that look. But again, it doesn't get really that much shit I like after that. I'm right there with you, bro. I kind of want to hop here. I think I do agree with you with the cash look, especially with the Hunter news that we just got now as well. So obviously that line is moving to 3 on Bet Online. So it's moving there with the injury news there. But I'm right there with you, bro. I just came here to, support my boy, man. I'm right there with you, bro. I think the Cavs have the advantage. They have the field goal advantage over the season. They're number 8 in field goal percentage. The 16th field goal percentage is the Hawks. They're missing one of their guys. They're 18th over the last 5 games as far as the Hawks. And then they're last in 3-point percentage in the Hawks as far as 3-point percentage. But they have been holding down the threes. They're number 1 in 3-point percentage as far as defending, but losing out one of their best defenders tonight. I think you're going to get the Cavs to shoot the lights out tonight, kind of test that, put that to the test today. So I think I'm right there with you with the Cavs. I haven't pushed that, but I think you're talking me on it, bro.
Yeah, Wham. The other thing that I think neither one of us mentioned yet, Wham, is the bench, right? Like if you guys watched the Cavs play last night, and I know I got Ben up too. Ben is a big Cavs guy. I know he's out in Cleveland. The bench for me is is humongous, especially if you can get Kevin Love in, because we've seen this Atlanta bench play well at home, but they struggle on the road, right? Like the Griffin kid, he's nice. He played, big, but you can't trust a lot of those guys to play, extremely well on the road, and they don't have Bogdanovich back yet. So I just think that they have I think it was, Seti last night. Seti Osman was the guy who went off, but they have so many guys that can contribute, whether, it's offensively, defensively. To me, it just, all kind of lines up to be, an Atlanta spot. And I actually thought we were getting a discount yesterday because I'm like, man, the Cavs been, they've been kind of rolling at home. I'm also not willing, to bet against a team that I feel like is going to come up. And I do feel like the Cavs are in a spot where, they do to come up. They started the season off hot, 8-1. Well, actually 0-1, and then 8 in a row. They went out west. They struggled. They had the heart-to-heart with the, the coaches being a part of it. And then, we've seen their defense kind of pick up. It also helps to get, Evan Mobley back too, right? So to me, it just feels like, bench-wise, I think they have the, the major event, especially when you take away Hunter in this one. So it wouldn't surprise me if this line, started to move just a tad bit more. But I love to look, Wham. I actually wrote down Evan Mobley. I might get there with you on that, bro. Put him in something for sure. Finesse, I'm kick it to you, and then kick it to my guy Ben. What up, Finesse? What you on today, my brother?
It was good, bro. How you doing? We got Wham in the building.
Wham is in the building, bro. Hey, I feel special, Finesse.
I know. Stop it, dog. I need a Wham salute, man. I need to see one of those. Just cheer me up.
Right. I need one of the Wham Talk T-shirts, Finesse. That he ain't even dropped yet. He ain't even manifested yet. Yeah, I need one of them joints.
They on the way.
Let's do it.
But yeah, first of all, completely agree with each of you guys. I'm on Cleveland as well. I got the 2. You guys already mentioned it's a great matchup. Wham mentioned Atlanta's ability to limit to 3, and that also points to why I'm official on Mobley as well. I think it's a great spot. He kind of mentioned, hold on, let me get to it. He kind of mentioned the hit rates and all of that shit, so I won't really go to that. I had a couple of things. So he mentioned how they perform versus power forwards. He's hitting his last 4 versus Atlanta. He's covered this number, playing 31 plus minutes, which we expect for the game script. He's hit a 6 of his last 7. He's hit a 9 in his last 10 games with 31 plus. Yeah, he mentioned the normal hit rates. Let me go to my other notes. Sorry, real quick.
Nah, take your time. Take your time for that.
Yeah, Atlanta ranks 25th in points in the paint, allowed 27th over the last 5 games, so they're regressing in that category, which is great. One thing that I really like too, Cleveland's drawing the most fouls per game this year, and Atlanta ranks 29th in opponent field free throws attempted and 28th in free throws made. So I think that is super important too. And then Spider's scoring production and Allen's scoring production both go down at home, and Mobley's increases. So I love the Mobley play. I'm on that as well, 14.5 points. What else I got? I'm on Tyrese Halliburton. I like his steals, over 1.5 steals. It is juiced. I got it at minus 140 at DK, but I just think this line shouldn't be playable at all. Hallie's covered this line in he's covered this line in 8 of his last 9 games. He's averaging 2.3 steals in that span. He's covered this line in 6 straight home games and 4 straight versus Orlando. Orlando ranks 29th in opponent steals per game at 8.6. And over the last 5 games, that actually increases by half a steal. So we like that. And Orlando just doesn't have a true point guard, depending on how you feel about Suggs, which is part of the reason that they give up so many steals. The main ball handlers are going to be Suggs and Wagner, as we've seen from Orlando. And those two average 6.5 turnovers per game. And Suggs leads the team in turnovers. And I'm assuming that's who Hallie's going to check during the game. So I love him to get 2 steals. What else we got? DeRozan. So you mentioned liking Levine. I'm right there with you. I like Levine as well for this game in terms of scoring, and I think that plays right into DeRozan's assist. So I'm official on his over 3.5 assists. That's minus 120 on BetMGM. He's covered this line in 5 of his last 8, 13 of his last 20, and 6 of his last 8 home games. It's just a disrespectful line for somebody averaging nearly 10 potential assists per game, which leads the team by a wide margin. His potential assists are slightly down over the last 5 games, but still, he would need to convert less than half of those potential assists to cover this line. Good history versus Boston as well. He's covered this line in 4 straight and 6 of his last 7 in the matchup. He's coming off that 46-piece chicken nugget last time early in the month versus them. So I think Boston's gonna adjust, maybe over adjust to guard DeRozan and really shore up that mid-game range. He just destroyed them in the mid-range. He attempted 22 free throws and just sliced them up in the mid-range. So I think that over-adjustment trying to stop him would just leave room for his teammates to go off and room for him to facilitate. So I really like that too. So DeRozan over 3.5 assists, Halliburton over 1.5 steals. I'm right there with Wham or Mobley, and I like the Cavs as well.
Let's do it, Finesse. Sound like we lying, bro. I like that. I didn't even see DeRozan assist sitting at 3.5, but I love that. I love that number a lot, man. I absolutely love that number as well. And Finesse been hot, man. So, if you're gonna listen to somebody, you might want to listen to Finesse, bro. Appreciate you sharing the looks, my brother, as always, Finesse. Ben, I'm gonna come to you, and then Bookie, I'm gonna kick it to you. What's up, Ben? What you on today, my brother?
So I guess we're all on the Cavs, huh?
Hey, I hope it's a good thing, man. I hope it's a good thing.
Right? Hey, we were all on stuff this past weekend, and it seemed like everything was hitting, so we can keep it going.
That's a fact.
All that Mobley stuff sounds great. I'll probably put that in too now that you guys mentioned it. It makes a lot of sense. I got 5 player prop bets. I'll go on the order and how confident I am from the smallest bet to the largest bet. I think we're just going to have to autopilot Bol when Wendell Carter and Banchero are out. I got 27.5 PRA at plus money. Obviously, in the 2 games, when those 2 guys have been sitting, I think he's averaging like 35 PRA. Same matchup as what we talked about last Friday. Just gets to run it back again. So, yeah, I mean, if he's averaging 35, we need 28. Sounds good to me.
Got you.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 30.5 points. Knicks bottom 3rd in the league, points in the paint. Knicks fatigued, obviously, long road trip. Probably not the guy you want to face when you're fatigued, obviously. Had 36 against them last time they played. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has gone over this line every game this season except 3. In all 3 games where he did not go over this line, the following game he went over it. Obviously against Memphis the other day, he did not have a great game. So we talk about it on here a lot. Like, well, I have averages. Usually really good players don't have 2 bad games in a row. So I'm putting a unit on, SGA over 30.5 points. Next play, I got 1.5 units kind of on a little combo play. I got 1.1 units, so to win 1 on Halliburton over 19.5 points. Averaging this year, and this is the best matchup of his year. He did this against Orlando the last time they played, and he didn't even shoot well. So I'm not really worried about like a regression because it wasn't like he's not regressing down. If anything, he's going to regress up. Orlando, I believe, is last in the league both last 7 games and full season in points allowed to guards. If you look a little bit deeper, Orlando's defense struggles in 2 main places. It's points in the paint and 3-pointers given up above the arc. That's kind of where Halliburton scores. Halliburton's not really a 3-level scorer. He's kind of a 2-level scorer, both in the paint and above the 3-point line. And all of his, percentages go up at home, obviously where he is today. Then I have 0.4 units, so to finish the 1.5 units on him to score 20 points and make 3 threes. In every game this year where he scored 20, he's made 3 threes in all of them except 1. So I figure, let's just tack on a little bit to get it to plus 160 just to get plus money. So, I got the points this morning at minus 110. I got the points plus 3s at plus 161. The 2 biggest plays of the day for me are both big men. I got Nikola Vucevic over 25.5 points plus rebounds. Obviously, they've played the Bulls this year twice, and he's crushed this both times. And, sometimes it's a too good to be true line, and they go under. So I really wanted to dig deep on this one. In Vucevic's last 12 matchups against Al Horford, so that dates back to the 2018-2019 season, he's averaging, and I'm sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me, but I believe it's 36 points plus rebounds against Al Horford last 12 matchups, hitting this number in 10 of 12. So he's absolutely crushing this. I don't know what it is. I can't say I know a ton about Al Horford, but what I can say is that Vucevic clearly does.
I like the way you put that.
He's killing Horford. I mean, he's averaging north of 20 and 10. We don't need anywhere near that. So I really like where we're at with that. I put 2 units on that one, and then I got Clint Capella. I got 1.5 units on his rebounds over 11.5, and I got a half unit on a rebound ladder for him, laddered up to 20. I got 0.25 units on 14, 0.15 units on 16, and then just the way that the numbers worked out, I got a tenth of a unit on 19 and 0.05 units on 20. Capella's averaging north of 14 rebounds per game this month. In his last 8 games, he's hit this number in 6 of 8. And if you look deeper at the 2 that he didn't get it, one was against Brook Lopez, who he had to check at the 3-point line the whole game. Obviously, Lopez, offensively plays almost exclusively at the perimeter, which is obviously as bad as it can get for a guy when you're betting on centers against him. Rebounds. And then the other game was a blowout loss where he had 10 and didn't play the fourth quarter. In every other game besides that, he hit this number. And I think in every other game besides that this month of those 6, he went 14 plus. Looking at his matchups last year against the Cavs, he hit this number in 3 or 4 against the Cavs last year. The 3 games that he hit it in were all the second leg of a back-to-back for the Cavs. The exact same environment we see today, right, where the Cavs are in the second game with back-to-back. The one game where he didn't hit it, Kevin Love went bananas from 3, making 5 threes, and he had to kind of chase Love around, the perimeter the whole game. I don't see Love going nuts tonight, having not played in a while, and with the thumb injury. Like, maybe he has a good game, but if Love hits 5 or 6 threes, like, I'll take that loss. But Capella actually had as many in one game as 23 rebounds last year against the Cavs. So I really like the upside here. He's gone 16 plus rebounds 4 times in his last 8, and 19 plus 2 or 3 times in his last 8. So the upside here, I think, is a spot we got to take advantage of.
I can see it, Ben. Hey, Ben, if you put anything on on somebody rebounds to go plus at 20 rebounds, you got to take the under in the game, because that means a lot of missed shots.
I don't know, man. Like last year, man, there were a lot of games. Like if you look at Capella, because the Hawks just play so fast. Right?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
He's just a volume rebounding, and it's weird. Like some games he just plays 20 minutes because he gets played off the floor, right? But in games where he doesn't get played off the floor, he's just such a volume rebounder. I think there was a game last year where the Cavs played the Hawks, and the game went like close to 240, and he still crushed this number.
I like it, then, Ben. I like it a lot. And you're right, though. You like it, like you checked all the boxes for me when I talk about whether I want to, like, if I'm capping a player rebounds, is typically matchup is the most important thing, because you don't want somebody that's going to pull him away from the rim. And we know he's going to be down there with Jared Allen for sure. And, he already one of the better rebounders in the league. So really all you need is misses, like you just need misses. And, the guy's he's a really good rebounder, even when he's, playing against opposing big men who are also really good rebounders. So I like the look, man. I like it, Ben. I hope you cash him, bro.
I appreciate it. Good luck.
Absolutely. Same to you. Bookie, I'm gonna kick it to you, and then Vaughn, and then I'm gonna get Hustle up as well. What's up, Bookie? Who unders you on today, my boy? I know you got some unders.
You know, bro. I got the unders crazy, man. This slate was looking great for unders, man. I'm telling you, it's actually all 3 plays I got are like the same look. 3-pointer made unders. Let's get right into it. Start off with in Boston, Atlanta. So Jaylen Brown under 2.5 3-pointers made. This actually, the line came out at -135. I wasn't able to get it there. I was able to get it at -150, and now it's up to -190 on DK. So I put a full unit on the -150, and then a half unit on the under 2.5 paired with Boston plus 8.5 to make it -105. So Browns under this line in 5-9 games in November and 9-15 on the season. Through this month, Brown is attempting 5.1 of his 6.3 three-point attempts from above the break. That's 80% of his shots, or of his three-point attempts. And Chicago's allowing the second least three-point attempts from that zone. And just last game against them, Brown shot 0 for 3 with his lowest three-point attempts of the year. 3 of the 4 teams he hit this over against were Cleveland, New York, and New Orleans Pelicans, all top 12 in three-point attempts from that zone. So those were definitely plus matchups for him. And Brown, actually this season, is attempting the most mid-range shots and shots within 8 feet of the basket for the Celtics this season. And in Chicago, allows the 5th most field goal attempts within that 8 feet range and the 6th most mid-range field goal attempts. So no reason for Brown to check up a ton of threes tonight when he'll be able to get to his spots and a mid-range shot that he's shooting just under 70%. Definitely capable of hitting his over 24.5 point prop today too, but I really like the angle under threes. Next play I got is Donovan Mitchell under 3.5 3-pointers, minus 120, but it's moved up to minus 156 on DK on points bet. So I think it's minus 125 still. Mitchell's only over this line in 2 of 8 games so far in November and gets a tough matchup against Atlanta, who's allowing the least 3-pointers made to shooting guards so far. Mitchell's shooting 91% of his threes from above the break this season and only 9% from the corner. So he's shooting a lot of threes in the high pick and roll and the isolation. And today he gets Atlanta, who will likely be guarded by DeJounte Murray, who is a great on-ball defender and allows the 18th lowest three-point percentage among qualifying guards. Atlanta also allowing the 5th least three-pointers to shooting guards, as I just mentioned. And what really grabbed my eye was they're allowing the 5th lowest field goal percentage from that zone. And the 12th least attempts. Weird line, considering the matchup and the fact he's only hit this in 2 of 8 games this month. Next one I like, also for that play too, Garland definitely has and Mobley definitely had the plus matchups that game, so I don't think he's going to force it. Next play, same play almost. Anthony Edwards, 2.5 3-pointers made, plus 112 on Barstool. I like the under 22.5 points too if Bam's in, because I think every game he's gone under this 3-point line, he's gone under the points too. So he's gone under in 5 and 9 this month, and doesn't get a good matchup today because Miami's allowing the 4th lowest 3-point percentage from above the break, where Edwards is shooting 90% of his threes from. He's also going to be guarded by Caleb Martin, who's allowing the 10th lowest 3-point percentage from above the break among all qualifying players, not just guards. So very tough matchup. And then looking back to the overs, he hit 3 or more in Orlando, 2nd most field goal attempts from that zone. Memphis, most field goal attempts, and Phoenix, the highest field goal percentage. I feel like because of the recent stretch of good scoring games he's had, only reason the line's kind of right there. I feel like if he didn't have those recent couple of games, it'd be at minus 125, minus 130. So I like that too. And also, anyone in the space, if you like my plays, go follow me. I'm a couple followers away from 100. So if you fuck with the plays, go follow him.
Yeah, follow Bookie, man. He always got an exclusive write-up for them joints too, man. Bookie trying to build his brand, man. I'm trying to help him. So give my man Bookie a follow for sure. He doing the work. Y'all hear the analysis. So and he cashing. He tweet the show. So definitely follow Bookie, man. Matter of fact, Bookie, I don't think I follow you, bro. Let me follow you. I followed you, Bookie. So we're gonna get you to 100 for sure, bro. Absolutely. Hey, best of luck. I hope you cash him tonight for sure too. Let me kick it to Vaughn. Oh, first of all, before I kick it to Vaughn, Trip in the chat, man, in the YouTube chat, throwing out some good stuff. He said Miles Turner has scored 20 points or more in 3 straight games when facing the Magic, while also seeing double digits in 4 straight home games. Trae Young has scored 30 or more in 4 straight games when facing the Cavs, while also hitting 4 or more 3-pointers in 4 straight games facing the Cavs as well. Then he also said Franz Wagner, who was somebody else that was on my short list. I wrote his name down, didn't get a chance to really dig deep into it. Franz Wagner has scored 28 points or more in 2 straight games when facing the Pacers, while Tyrese Halliburton has seen 12 or more assists in 4 straight home games. Clint Capella has scored 14 or more points in 5 of his 6 games, while also seeing 12 or more rebounds in 6 of his last 8. So Trip, I appreciate you sharing all that. That's a lot of typing, my brother. I appreciate that, man, for sure. What up, Courtney? I see you in the chat, bro. So yeah, if you guys missed any of that, hop on YouTube. The comments right there. But I'm gonna kick it to my guy Vaughn real quick, and then Hustle, I'm gonna come to you. What up, Vaughn?
Yo, I'm good, bro. You hear me good?
Yeah, you good.
All right, man. So as someone just mentioned, we going with Franz, man. On his points, I got it at 20.5.
Okay.
So in the month of November, he's averaging 15.6 shot attempts per game. Also scoring 22 per game. So he's scoring 22 per game on 16 shots. So we always like those numbers. And his usage has seen an uptick with no Paolo and Wendell Carter Jr. I'm going back to Shea points as well. I think it was Ben who talked about it. Every game this year that Shea hasn't scored 30, he's responded with more than 30 in this next game. October 22nd versus Denver, he scored 28. Next game, he scored 33. October 27th against the Clippers, he scored 24. Next game against Dallas, he scored 38. Against Milwaukee, he scored 18. Next game, he had 33 versus Detroit. So we like Shea. We know the Knicks don't have a lot of a real interior presence. Mitchell Robinson him coming back don't really scare us off anything at all. And then he's foul prone, so he might be out before we even get going. I'm rolling with you on Cleveland. Instead of full game, I took them first half. I got them at first half spread 0.5 for -118. And then I'm rolling with Julius Randle tonight as well, man. So last four of the last 5 games, he's been crushing it. 25 points, 15, 34, and 20. They just had a dud out there in Phoenix. So we like for him to kind of, just get back to it. We know Oklahoma City isn't great defensively. So that's one of my, I like Julius for 0.75 units. Let's see. And that's all that we got that's official so far, man. It's a lot of games on the board, but just not a whole lot of plays I like. I'm looking at this Cleveland and Hawks game. And like to me, I see the Hawks as I see Cleveland as a better version of the Hawks. If you look at 4 of their starting 5, you got DeJounte and Trae Young reminds me of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. You look at Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, that reminds you of John Collins and Capella. So teams that kind of mirror each other. It's just Cleveland has a way better bench. So I'd like Cleveland to kind of come out and dominate tonight. One of my leans for tonight is Minnesota first quarter team total over. So I know one of the rules of gambling is you typically don't want to take the team that's been on the road and going back home. But at 29.5, it's almost it's hard not to take because we got Minnesota averaging 32 on the season. Last 3 games, they're averaging 38. On the season, they're averaging 32 at home. Last 3 games, they are the top-rated first-quarter offense. They also lead the league in first and assist-to-turnover ratio in that time frame as well. And those last 4 games is Memphis, Cleveland, Orlando, and Philly. So not some horrible teams, but some decent competition. It's not like they playing the Spurs, shit like that. So I think I'm gonna get there with that first quarter at 29.5, bro. I really think I'm gonna get there. And Boston first half as well. I think the total that is at 60.5. Just a lot of trends trending in Boston's direction. And if the Bulls win this game, I don't think it's because of defense. So I think I'm gonna end up getting there. I know I'm gonna get there with that Minnesota one. Just really thinking about that Boston, either team total 117.5 or that first half total. Discord looking to bounce back, bro. I think we went down like 4 or 5 units this weekend, so we got to get them back tonight.
Absolutely, Vaughn. I love the looks, Vaughn. The one thing I challenge you on just a tad bit. I like the Timberwolves, like you said, first quarter 29.5. They have been scoring. I talked about, Mr. What's the boy? Anthony Edwards. He been absolutely coming out on fire. With Miami though, it does feel like they give their best shot early. Like they know they're undermanned, they know they're outmatched. So it feels like when they do fall, it's typically they can they try to keep the first quarter close and respectable. They're gonna play hard for for their coach or whatever. So that's what kind of take me away from T-Wolves first quarter. But I do like it though.
You read my mind, bro.
That's why you ain't play it.
That's why it's a lean and not official.
Yeah, not for sure.
So
I watched them last night
against Cleveland.
Yeah, and they came out and just knowing that they undermanned and not even them hitting shots. I just watched the effort that they played with, gang rebound and shit like that. So that's why it's a lean. And then also, even with that, I watched them the other night against the Wizards, and they were beating the Wizards at halftime. And I think they won the first quarter as well with basically 6.5 people.
That's a fact.
So like you said, they come out and they fight, but just these last couple games, they just they don't have the talent and the amount of bodies it seems like they're getting worn out as the game goes along. So I'm with you right there. I think I'm gonna end up getting there, but that's the only thing kind of holding me off of it. And the fact that we went down 4 or 5 units this weekend.
Not one to spread yourself too thin. I feel you on that. I feel you on that for sure.
It's like you said, you play what you love and leave what you like.
Right. That's a fact. The other one, Vaughn, you talked about that Celtics and Bull game, and you said that the Bulls got a chance to win. You think it's going to be because of their offense, not their defense. I actually feel the opposite. I don't feel like nobody can outscore the Celtics. I feel like if you go beat the Celtics, you're going to beat them because, one, they're going to have an off night shooting. I watched this video earlier. I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I think I bookmarked it earlier. I watched this video of Half Court Hoops. I don't know if you guys follow Half Court Hoops or not, but Half Court Hoops actually broke down this Boston Celtics offense and why they're having so much success. I just pinned it up top if you guys want to take a look at that and give him a follow. He got a YouTube page too. But the Celtics, their offense, I talked about this last week. It's actually on pace to be the best offense we ever seen in the history of basketball. And it's crazy to think, but they literally scored like 80 points in the first half, 75 points in the first half. One of these games is gonna be a trap game where they don't get it, but I don't know when it's going to be. The way you're going to beat the Celtics, though, I tell you, is, like multiple players going to have to be cold. It's going to take more than one player because we see, Tatum didn't even have a good game in Atlanta last week, and they still smacked Atlanta. Atlanta never even got close in that game. So it's going to take multiple guys to, have a bad shooting night and, probably going to have to be at the game where somebody's rested. But they've even, proven that even when, Jaylen Brown sits or, Grant Williams comes in and steps up, or Peyton Pritchard comes in and step up. Al Horford sits and, they're just like, they just got so many guys and they run their offense at such a crisp pace that I think, betting their team total first quarter, first half almost seems like a auto play. And I haven't even jumped on board yet. Finesse, you got any thoughts on that, bro? You the Celtics guy. What we doing tonight, Finesse? Is it a trap game for your boys tonight or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a super motivational spot. If I was looking at that game, it'd probably be Boston first half. If you like the Boston side and want to bet on Boston side, I think you just take them first half. They're one of the better first half teams this year. Chicago's been struggling in the first half, but yeah, I mean, not a peak motivation spot. I mentioned them. I expect to be motivated at least against DeMar. Almost dropping 50 on them, but. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously so much better than Chicago. 6 points.
That's a fact.
Is a lot of points, right, for a team that's probably going to be motivated. So I don't know. It feels like we play Chicago like once a week. So I usually like staying away from that matchup for whatever reason. But yeah, I think if you want to play something, it's first half.
Nah, it's a fact, man. That's a fact, bro. Like the Celtics on a 9-game win streak. They're 13-3. And you get the Bulls who just can't seem to buy a win. I know they lost to Orlando straight up the other day. They were 9-point favorites in that game. I think it might have even went up to 9.5. And then, they also lost to the Pelicans. They got some bad losses, no matter if they're at home, on the road, whatever the case might be. Their defense is taking a step back. And that's not what you want to see when when Boston is coming into town. But this one just feel a little trappy, and I'm not gonna force it, man.
You can't bet against Boston right now.
Yeah. You just stay off, right? That's what you do. You just stay off. You take the Celtics, and if it feels trappy and unmotivated, you just stay off. And that's what I'm gonna do. Finesse. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. But I ain't gonna lie. I've been looking. I didn't look 17 times if I'm being honest, and that's probably the under, at taking the Celtics in some way, shape, or form today, whether it's that team total or, whatever the case might be. But I'm going to stay off, man. I'm going to sit this one out. We got some spots for tomorrow that I'm already looking at. So I'm going to chill out on that one. Let me kick it to, appreciate you, Finesse, for giving us some insight on your team, my guy. Hustle, I'm going to come to you real quick, and then I'm going to get a few more requests up. I think I got a couple more. What's up, Hustle? What you on today, my brother?
What's the deal, my man? Today, I'm dealing with I'm working with a lot of house money, for these last couple of days. Today, today I'm looking for value today. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going for. I usually go with straights, but today I'm looking for a little value. So I got Clint Capella double and Bo double parlay. Get you a little north of 250 plus 250. Garland at home. If anybody knows, he's been scoring crazy. He's been 40, 41, 51, and getting points like that. So I'm definitely on his over, and then laddering up, 25, 30, all the way up. We also got a player performance double, Garland 30, and Cleveland to win. It's like plus 650. I want to sprinkle there. And, man, I kind of don't understand how you guys say, it's a lot. You're not really liking a lot of spots today, because I'm seeing a lot. It's a lot of spots that I like.
Well, what else you liking, Hustle? Talk to the people, man. They want to hear.
I'm liking. I am liking Franz Wagner over on his points.
Okay.
I'm liking Levine's 25 for plus money. If his line is at like 20, I'm liking his line and his 25. I'm liking Anthony Simons for 25. His points, he's at 23.5. So I'm liking him for 25. I'm liking Anthony Edwards points, maybe even Karl Anthony Towns points, because I think Anthony Edwards might got a little trouble today with his matchup. But in the last game, he hit his props, but he hit his line, but kind of barely. It took OT for him to hit his line. Who else am I missing? Jalen Brunson. He's been cashing for me. I mean, he just had 27 in a blowout. He would have had 30 plus if he didn't get snatched fourth quarter. Of course, SGA. He's always gonna hit his probably. He's gonna give us 30 plus tonight. And then you got Lauri Markkanen in the Jazz game. His over sitting at like 20.5 or something like that. Like, it's a lot of points there that I'm liking. Even I was looking at Brook Lopez's rebounds at 4.5, but it's a little juice, so I'm not locked it in yet. But then I love first quarter, so I haven't looked at a lot of lines, but that Celtics Bulls first quarter, it's at 59.5. I'm liking that. Even the Celtics minus 2.5 for the first quarter, I'm liking that. But those are my spots. That's what I'm liking, man. It's like I said, a whole lot that I'm liking, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it kind of low. But I like to go game by game as well. I like to put my bets in last minute. So for anybody that want to tell or looking for anything, I do post on my timeline. Before the game, or if I'm about to take a pick, or I might give out a live. Jalen Brunson at halftime. I've been taking his live because he's averaging 13, 14 points in the second half. So last game he's had 13. They got his line at 23. So no brainer. Give me that at the half, and he had 27. There's somebody else that does that too. I know Banchero was doing that a lot, but there was another one too. Like that, their second half scoring is just whatever, even more than the first half scoring. So I like a lot of live plays, and I tweet those out. So if you follow me, you can look out for those. Also, the first quarter, sometime right before the game, I'll put it in and I'll tweet it out. So,
yeah.
Anybody looking for some tails? Absolutely,
I appreciate that, Hustle. I like your looks, bro. I know you be cashing for sure too. We just got news that Kevin Love is in. He's gonna play through that thumb injury. I think he's going through shoot around right now. Monotone, what's going on, my boy? Hey, real quick, Monotone, before I come to you, I want to see Matt Stoney in the chat said Marcus Smart assists got to be looked into. And then Mitch said he just locked in DeMar DeRozan 25 points and 5 assists at plus 380. If anybody wanted to look at that, I think that is definitely worth a sprinkle. And then Markel said he just locked in SGA 30 points and Jaylen Brown 20 points. That's a plus 125 if you guys were looking at either one of those guys. And I feel like it was something I wanted to say about Marcus Smart. I saw like maybe 20 minutes before I started the show. One of the Boston Globe reporters reported that Marcus Smart's not going to need surgery or anything, but he may see like some not specifically for this game, but he may start to rest on second night of back-to-backs or, some unmotivated spots for Boston this year. Just something to kind of keep in mind, just to kind of keep the wear and tear down on that. I think it's a knee injury that kept him out of the last few games. So just something to put in your notepad, man. I do like I like Marcus Smart. I was looking to see whether I could play his rebounds and assists together tonight, but I think I'm gonna probably end up staying off of that. But I wanted to share that real quick. Let me come to Monotone and then Butter. I want to get to you as well, my brother. What up, Monotone? What's you on today, my boy?
Hey, man, it's a good day for sports. World Cup earlier today. Then we got basketball now. We got some football later. So definitely plenty of action. My favorite game today, I think it's got to be the Magic Pacers game. I love when these kind of, lower level teams kind of play each other. It takes out a lot of the blowout risk. And I think we get guys at some pretty solid prices. So I do a lot of first quarter betting. So I'm over on DraftKings. I went Jalen Suggs over 1.5 first quarter assists just as a straight. He has 5 straight games with 2 first quarter assists. He's averaging 2 first quarter assists on the whole season. That's even when Cole Anthony was playing. And then he has 1 in every single game except 1 earlier. So no Anthony, no Banchero. That's obviously more usage for Suggs right there. So I like that as a straight. And then another one I went with Bol Bol to have 12 points, 1 block, and then Jalen Suggs to have a first quarter assist. Bol Bol, he's been crushing it, right? He's played 30 minutes in 5 straight games. When you look at the whole season, when he plays 30 minutes, averaging 17.7 points, and he has 12 points in all 8 of those games. Also, averaging 2 blocks a game this season. He has 2 against Indy earlier this season, and he has 1+ block in 15 to 17 games. So I love Bol Bol. I love Suggs in that game. But yeah, so I think that's my favorite first quarter spot over there. I played 2 double-double props as straights today. I played Julius Randle for +170, and then I played Clint Capella earlier this morning for +110. You can still build Clint Capella for +100 on DraftKings. You just have to build it yourself with points and rebounds. They kind of give you a worse price. That's a little pro tip right there. If you ever notice that, they do it all the time where the double price is one thing, but if you just build it yourself, you actually get a better price. And I like both those guys. Clint Capella, obviously his size is absolutely needed, right? When Clint Capella plays 25 minutes, he absolutely crushes this number. It's just about whether he's actually out there on the court or not. When you're playing Evan Mobley, when you're playing Jared Allen, you obviously need that Clint Capella size out there. He's not going to get run off the court right here. He should play his full assortment of minutes, and I expect him to do very well right there. As for Julius Randle, you're getting much better odds right here, right? +170. I like his double-double. He had one against the Thunder earlier this season, and it's kind of the exact opposite thing I just said, where I don't think Hardenstein's really going to play heavy minutes, right? Randle got that double-double last time because Pokuševski was playing center minutes, right? That's going to naturally run opposing big men off the court. They do this all the time because the Thunder just love to play smaller and they love to run. So I believe they're going to run Hardenstein off. This team's going to play a lot more small ball. So I love Julius Randle double-double. Another one I absolutely love if they put props up. I don't know if you remember. I actually gave this out last year too. They put it out like at the last minute. Jericho Sims rebounds. They wait till the very last second. But man, this guy is an absolute monster on the boards. If he ever plays 20 minutes in the game, that's just an automatic sign for me to bet him his rebounds if they're ever available. So I would definitely recommend it. In the small ball game against the Thunder, he had 8 rebounds in limited minutes last time. Sims has impressed me a lot recently. So if they put up his rebounds, I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to ladder it also.
Love it, Monotone. I know somebody else had mentioned Mathurin props not being open. That's another guy you kind of want to watch, especially in a back-to-back game like today. I'm not sure what Mathurin did in the last game, but if he didn't go over, you probably want to look for that opposite guy, to have an impact in the matchup. But I couldn't talk you off of Jericho Sims. Dude is massive. I mean, he looks like a 13-year-old, 7'4", 325-pound, teddy bear. But the dude can jump. He can, box out. He dominates the paint for sure. So I like that look as well. He reminds me a lot of the Richards kid from Charlotte. He's another one that, game is pretty similar. Not probably as much as offensively polished, but I love both of those guys, and you never can get Richards lines either. So same boat for sure, Monotone.
Yeah, no, that I like Richards too. That's a good point. And Sims, what makes him crazy is he's not even that tall, but his wingspan is absolutely insane. I mean, like you said, he's boxing people out, and then he's reaching over them for rebounds. So anytime you can ever get this guy just to scratch 20 minutes, he's a strong double play. But like you said, not very polished on the offensive end. So that's why I'm just sticking with rebounds today.
I like it, Monotone. I like it a lot, especially against that OKC team. I don't think they got nobody on their team that weigh 200 pounds. Honestly, they're so small and thin. Love it. Butter, I know you've been waiting for a minute. Hey, yo, I'm gonna come to you next. But Butter, go ahead, bro. What you want today, man?
Hello, Chris, baby.
Yeah, you good?
All right, bet. All right. This is my first time speaking on here. But I've been listening to you guys for a good minute. But so far, I heard Vaughn talk about Cavs first half minus 0.5. I'm on that. I'm gonna ride with that one. I like you talked about with the Cavs money line too. I'm on that. I did my own little special here. I got Jason Tatum 3 threes, Zach LaVine 2 threes, Donovan Mitchell 3 threes, and Anthony Edwards 2 threes. I'm gonna go with that threes parlay.
Hey, Butter, what odds is that? I like that. That sounds good.
That's plus 258.
Okay. Say it one more time. Say it a little bit slower. You said who?
I got Jason Tatum 3 threes.
Tatum 3. Okay.
Zach 2.
LaVine 2. Okay.
Mitchell 3.
Okay.
And then Edwards 2.
And Ant 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that, bro. Okay.
You're looking. And then I got another parlay that I think. What's that called? Who was it? Finesse that disrespected the Bulls or something? I don't know who was disrespecting the Bulls. Somebody. But I just want to know. Against the Celtics, when we play the Celtics, I feel like the Celtics always have a close game with us. I noticed that. I'm a Bulls fan, so I put us plus 8.5. So I'm not going against the Celtics. I know the Celtics good, but we also gave the Celtics one of their L's. That's one thing I want to make sure everybody know. So I went with Chicago Bulls plus 8.5 spread, Donovan Mitchell 25, and Cleveland to win, and then Giannis double and them to win.
Giannis double to win. Okay. Hey, I like the looks, man. Sound like you did your work for sure, bro. Best of luck to you, man. I hope you cash them.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, yo, what's going on, bro? I think it's your first time up too, man. What's going on?
What up, Chris?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. Good, bro. Yeah, first time, been tapping in, but I've been, for 2 years going on now.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Question, bro. Yeah, my pleasure, bro. My pleasure. Appreciate you. Just a quick question, bro. Anthony Edwards, I got him at 2.5. Y'all like me to go over 2.5 threes?
Man, dude been on a heater, ayo. I don't know exactly what the numbers is, but I've been watching the games recently. 2 games ago when he was in Indiana, I'm sorry, not in Indiana, when he was in Orlando, I was on D'Angelo Russell that game. This was last week, I think at the beginning of last week, and he hit 2 threes in like the first 2 minutes. And when he hot, like he gonna keep shooting. You know what I mean? So like I wouldn't not take it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't bet the under, put it like that, because he's confident right now. You could tell he didn't, gain some confidence in his game. So I like his over 2.5 for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm gonna do a little 4-pick parlay, 3-pointers. I got that. Listened to someone earlier. They said Tyrese Halliburton over 2.5. And Anthony Edwards over the 2.5. And I got Jeremy Grant under 2.5 threes. And Jordan Clarkson over 2.5. What you think?
What was the last one? Clarkson under?
Over.
I like Clarkson over. Yeah, he gonna be letting that thing go tonight for sure. Against the Clippers. Yeah, the Clippers also make it hard for you to score in the paint against them. I'm not sure where they rank defensively against the 3, but I like it, bro. I can see it for sure.
All right, yeah. I'm just throwing a little $5 on it. 5 picks.
Okay. Hey, best of luck, bro. I hope you cash it.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Absolutely. What up, Vaughn?
Hey, just real quick, bro. I don't know if you can hear me good or not, but how you feel about Jared Allen rebounds? I heard a lot of people on Capella
And I capped Capella rebounds. I didn't really cap Jared Allen rebounds, but just how you feel, with your knowledge. I like I said, I ain't did a lot of homework on it, so I don't know.
I haven't either, Vaughn, to be honest. But I mean, in a matchup like today, I just kind of feel like we got a lot of injury news too. So Derrick Rose just got ruled out. Cam Reddish just got ruled out. Dwayne Dedmon looked like he on track to play. Bam on track to play. Gabe Vincent is ruled out. Yeah, we just got a lot. I think all this stuff that we could say about Capella, we could say about Jared Allen almost. So I could see it's really just going. I do feel like there's this aspect of like I don't know if people have been paying attention to this, but Evan Mobley has actually been getting a few more rebounds than Jared Allen over the past few games, and I don't know exactly why. Like I'm not haven't been really watching the full game, so I don't have like 100% reason why that's been happening. But I do feel like Jared Allen could always go with his rebound. I know it's probably at like 10.5. I think when I looked at it earlier, I can see him going over that game, especially if you think the Cavs gonna rely on their defense. But it is going to be, Trey going to try to, get the bigs in the pick and roll. So that could take him away from the rim, depending on how successful that is. But I do expect the Cavs to play defense and for, to be a lot of rebounding opportunities for the Cleveland Cavalier big men.
Agree with you 1,000%. So one of the things we're watching, I've been watching Cleveland a little bit more because I've been betting on them a little bit more. Evan Mobley is just more of an aggressive rebounder. So like when the rebound goes up, he's attacking the rebound. Jared Allen is not always attacking the rebound. I think that's one of the reasons. And then just matchup wise as well, Jared Allen. They've been playing some centers who've been playing like kind of at the foul line, 3-point range, and Jared Allen will contest the shot as opposed to Capella. Capella's not going to contest the shot. He's just going to wait on the shot to go up and go get the rebound. Jared Allen going to do the right thing, contest the shot. But when you contest the shot, that typically takes you out of rebounding position. So just something I seen with watching Cleveland and watching Atlanta.
Word. I like that, Vaughn. D in the comment section said, he said Jared Allen is not averaging a double-double versus Capella. However, Capella is averaging one versus him. It can happen though. So yeah, probably what you said, Vaughn, lack of aggression when it comes to actually going to actually get the rebound. Like I said, I haven't been watching this, so I don't have no, in-depth analysis on it. But I see Monotone hand up. He might have something on it. What up, Monotone?
Yeah, no, I just want to say I played Capella double-double, so I looked pretty close at Allen too. And at first I liked it because both of them are top 5 in rebound distance closest to the rim, which means both of them are almost always planted right under the rim. But the more and more I looked at it, and the reason I kind of stayed away from it is kind of like what you guys said a second ago with getting trapped in the pick and roll, but also he's going to mostly be responsible for boxing out Jared Allen as well. And when you have such a good rebounder like Mobley there, that I think he is going to spend a lot of his time boxing out. I think a good example of that is, how we always bet Giannis rebounds against the 76ers? Well, that's because Brook Lopez is spending all game standing in front of Embiid, right, trying to keep him out the way. I think it's going to be a similar dynamic here where Allen is spending more time boxing out Capella and kind of Mobley is benefiting with those rebounds.
Damn, that's sharp. That's sharp, Monotone. That's some sharp shit. Oh man, that's sharp, Monotone. I like that, bro. I like that a lot. Finesse, you got to follow it up. Finesse, what up, bro?
Only thing I'll add to Capella is that usually he's one of those guys that quickly, become unplayable with a lot of teams. He gets played off the floor. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Jared Allen's going to play. We know that. Last 7 games, he's averaging 33 minutes against the Cavs. Played 40 minutes, played 31 minutes 2 of his last 3 games versus them. And he's averaging close to 15 rebounds in that span. So, we see him, that man lives to rebound a ball.
That's a fact.
He played 18 minutes versus Boston. One of those times he got played off the floor and still got 8 rebounds. So I think I'm loving the double-double. I'm official on that as well. And I think the minutes, his floor is 28 minutes. So I think that's more than enough.
Yeah. Finesse got a lot of interest, a lot of really good points as well. Couldn't talk anybody off of that. I know Hustle said he was on Capella double-double with parlay with Bol double-double. So if you're looking for 2, that might be the 2 you're looking for. Love Capella double-double tonight for sure. He should get his, his looks, rim runs, putbacks. He's quick off his feet too, man. He get a lot of tap ins, a lot of possessions. He'll get, 2 or 3 rebounds on the same possession. So that's something else to kind of take into consideration. Let me kick it to Cam real quick, and then Vaughn, I'm gonna come back to you, and then we're gonna shut this thing down. I'm gonna go over my officials real quick. Cam, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm gonna keep it simple because my money's going to the World Cup. Rightfully.
Oh yeah, Wiggins just got ruled out too. Just FYI.
Who got ruled out?
Wiggins just got ruled out. Andrew Wiggins.
So like the whole team's out.
The whole team.
Scheduled out. But it's hard to bet those spreads because somehow the team's always covering these spots.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So keeping it simple tonight. Brook Lopez 3 threes, plus 185. Other than the fact that he's taken like 7 a game. Giannis is a bit beat up. His calf's a bit off, and Brook does really well against any team that has a center that's just not going to go out and guard him there. So we took this against San Antonio with Pirtle, and he just kind of sits there and watches it. In Atlanta, he's hit it against Clint Capella twice. That's something he's already brought up. Clint's not trying to go out there. He's just like, I'm going to hope you miss. And same thing with Nurk. Nurk's not going to go out there and guard him. He's going to let him shoot it. Brook also shoots better at home from 3. So basically all the times he's hit it, other than like once, which was against San Antonio, he was at home. So for me, it's 3 threes for Brook tonight, plus 185. I was going to give out Marcus Smart, but you talked me off with that whole injury thing. So I'm not going to play it.
It don't mean that it won't hit, though, Cam. It don't mean it won't hit just because I said that,
I know. It's just when I think about the thing is, and the reason I like Marcus Smart threes is because Tatum's getting a lot better at moving the ball around, and he's taken enough in these spots. But I don't know enough about the injury. Like if it sounds like he's going to be on kind of a watch list when it comes to back-to-backs, and who knows how he performs. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised when he goes out and hits. He averages 3 against Chicago, by the way. So that's why I was looking at it, and it's evens at 2. So he averages 3 against Chicago. They don't really guard him well out there, so it's kind of like I'm still on the fence. To lean at this stage because of the injury news, but Brook Lopez official 3 threes plus 185.
Like it, Cam. I like it. He was actually somebody I was looking at earlier. And like you said, Nurk is not trying to come out there. Brook Lopez gonna shoot 10 threes tonight. Right. He gonna shoot 10 threes tonight. All off the penetration of Giannis, who Jeremy Grant gonna have his hands full, but I like it. They put Brook Lopez out there to space the floor. Similar, to Boston, the way they put Al Horford out there to space the floor. And these bigs can really shoot the ball. Like Brook Lopez can really shoot threes. Al Horford can really, I mean, I know people know, but Al Horford can really shoot threes too. So I love the look, Cam.
The strokes care. It's not even like you just jack them up. The man can shoot threes.
Right.
He's developed that part of his game. And like you said, with Giannis, who doesn't shoot threes. And when your best player doesn't shoot threes, somebody's got to shoot threes. Somebody's got to spread the floor, and Brook's that dude.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I love that look, Cam. Love the Brook Lopez over 2.5 threes. Look, I hope you cash it, bro. Vaughn, I know your hand went back up, so I'm gonna come back to you real quick before we close it out. Whatever.
Oh no, I was just wanting to elaborate on that rebounding thing that we was talking about with some of these guys being a little bit more aggressive rebounder. So you had your money on Porzingis last night, the same way I did. And like you said, we just watched him kind of just be uninterested in basketball.
Bro.
He looked like he just really did, like he just really hey, look, I ain't doing this basketball shit. I'm just out here to get my game checked. I'm looking to go home. So
boy.
Like watching the Wizards, for example. If you watch the way Kyle Kuzma rebounds the ball as opposed to how Porzingis rebounds the ball, I think that's kind of what we were talking about with some of these guys who rebound a little bit more aggressively as opposed to some of these guys who don't. You got some guys, how we talk about some people in bounce back spots and shit like that, but when the shot goes up, Kyle Kuzma is going to attack the rebound, how we talk about with Evan Mobley. Porzingis is not looking to attack anything but the 3-point line. So just when you're taking these rebound props, just be careful and, kind of know the matchup as well of who they're guarding. Someone talked about Nurkic rebounds earlier, and someone else talked about how he'll be guarding Brook Lopez, who will be at the 3-point line. So when you're playing these rebound props, just be mindful of who you're taking and who they're guarding as well.
Yeah, that's a fact. When Nurkic being so far away from the rim, I talked about Josh Hart, rebounds plus assists, especially without having Damian Lillard out there. I think that's a really, solid look as well. I didn't place that, but man, we came on, and I know myself, Finesse, Wham, we kind of led the show off, and we was talking about not having, too many plays. I like the looks, man. I like a lot of the looks that were shared tonight. I feel like not that I overlooked some things, but I really do like the looks. I will tell you guys before, as we wrap up, tomorrow we got a pretty small slate tomorrow. I want to say, let me check real quick. So Brooklyn play Philly. Philly won't have anybody in that one, with Embiid being out, and he's already been ruled out. Tyrese Maxey's not going to be back. Of course, James Harden's still out, so that'll be a crazy spread. Sacramento goes on the road to play Memphis. That should be a high-scoring game. Detroit and Denver, I am looking at, I think Jokic is not going to be back for that one. We just got that news. So it's looking like a terrible slate for tomorrow, too. Detroit coming off an impressive cover yesterday in Sacramento. I watched that game. And the Lakers play at Phoenix, so it's probably going to be we ain't going to talk about that game. We'll save that one for tomorrow. But, yeah, what I am official on today, I'm going to go ahead and lock Zach LaVine in. I like his 20 points, 20 and a half points. I do think it's a spot where, he could go for 25 as well. The Cavs, I'm official on the 2.5, on the 2, Cavs minus the 2. But like I said, I got talked into, the Cavs first half, so I'm going to play that as well. I do think it's it's a statement game for them. They come out early with something. And then I like Brunson, even in the 5th game in 7 nights. But that's probably why I'm not going to end up taking it. I do think he's the guy that steps up. If you guys have checked the box scores, you've seen that RJ Barrett has been a shell of himself. Dude is shooting like 30%, maybe even less than that. So I think Brunson can kind of keep it going, especially against a team that lacks rim protection. That doesn't have anybody that can literally stop him. So it could be a Julius Randle game, especially off a 9-point night last night. Maybe he was saving it for the night. But I would probably, look towards Brunson. I do like Franz Wagner. His PRA line probably. I'm not sure what it is, but I was doing the research while we was doing the show. He's averaging 32 points, rebounds, and assists over his last 5 games. That's of course been without Paolo, without Wendell Carter Jr. He's going to see a bigger jump as well. He also does a lot of the ball handling duties without them having a backup point guard, with Jalen Suggs playing primary point guard, of course. And I like the threes parlay that was mentioned as well, man. Tatum 3, LaVine 2, Donovan Mitchell 3, Anthony Edwards 2. I think all of that could hit. I don't parlay stuff, but I like that look a lot, man. And Cam just mentioned Brook Lopez threes. I like that look a lot as well. So, play what you absolutely love. I'm only playing Zach LaVine points and the Cavs first half and full game minus the first half spread, full game spread. Those are going to be my 3 officials, but I couldn't talk you guys off any of that. Finesse made some great points. Wham did too with Evan Mobley over 14.5. I like the Halliburton steals look, especially with him being rested tonight. DeRozan assist, Finesse mentioned that as well, over 3.5. I think he plays, some primary point guard tonight. Bow's in a really great spot again, so, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's in a really good spot again, being at the crib. So yeah, I like the looks, man. I just hope whatever you guys play, you cash it tomorrow. Tap back in with me in the morning. I'll be, doing the morning show, 7 a.m., talking about these 4 games that we have for tomorrow, breaking them down, early in the morning. So tap back in with me then. But best of luck to whatever you guys put in the, you end up placing as far as your official tickets tonight. Yeah, like the show, man. Retweet the show, do all that good stuff. Best of luck to you guys tonight. I'll see y'all tomorrow.